well, that's the mic. We'll give it away. Yes, the mic. Okay, show you. Cups of glass. Okay, welcome. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maddox bequest working group meeting. Do any apologies?
Apologies received from Councillor Marie due to work commitments.
Thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on the agenda.
Well, as you all know, my principal residence is next door to the Maddox property, so anything to do with the security of the property would be of interest to me, and so I would declare a significant interest in any aspects like that we may discuss.
Okay.
And I park there, so I keep an eye on the premises on a daily basis.
Yeah, thank you. Item 3, public participation. Any public participation?
No one today.
Okay, thank you. Item 4, minutes of the meeting of the Maddox Working Group on Wednesday, 17th of January 2024. Members to receive minutes of the Maddox Working Group attachment 1. Are there any comments on that?
No.
You're right with the minutes, Peter?
Yes, I am, thank you.
Yeah. Can we vote on that? You're happy with that? I think we are. Okay, thank you. Item 5, times of working group meeting. Members to receive a request from Councillor Marie to change times at the working group meets attachment 2. I think that, I appreciate he wants to attend our meetings, but the nature of his job is he never knows what he's out of, does he? I mean, he's away to Austria next week. Well, he's away, I should say that. And there was a meeting, I think it was the Access Group last week, and it was an evening meeting. And the other councillor, he has regular hours. He works, 9 till 5, so he knows he's going to get back after 6, so it's regular. There was, unfortunately, Councillor Murray with his work commitments, he just don't know. So I prefer staying as we are at the morning meetings. So
Yes,
Well, could I just comment, if I may? One of the benefits of having meetings during the day is that we don't ask the staff to come in the evening, and having an evening meeting starting at 6:30 means that Karen is here till 8 o'clock or so at night before she gets home, and that's, we're either paying her overtime or we're giving her time in lieu, and so, I think we've got to consider the staff. But also, from my point of view, I'm quite happy to represent, if Councillor Marie has got any comments, I'm quite happy to present them at the meeting, and all of the documents and so forth that we've got are there, and the documents will be coming to a full council meeting, an extraordinary council meeting. And to be quite honest, once that council meeting, that extraordinary council meeting has taken place, it may be that we need to disband this working group and move into a formal committee as the charity is established and as we move forward. So I think the circumstances are going to change, and I would thank Councillor Marie. I think he's made some interesting inputs in terms of the charity. He helped when we were opening the questionnaires and so forth here. But I think, that's my position on it. I think this might be the last working group meeting.
This was only a temporary until we got the structure in place, and it would be to have a management group of the Maddox, of the property, of the charity. And then for Councillor Gray, did you want to say something? Nicholas, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I was going to make that very point. Evening meetings cost the council money, and I don't think it's right that we should do that. And Karen worked hard enough as it is, and for her to do longer evening meetings, I think is wrong. I think the structure the council has of council meetings starting at 7 o'clock, committee meetings at 6:30, and working group meetings during the day is the right structure and policy, and I think that should continue, and I would oppose this proposal. And I'm sure that with foresight, if Councillor Marie gave Karen his work schedule, she could well be able to fit in a meeting during, because he doesn't work all day every day, because he has a lot of time off because of the time he's working.
There is another just a thing because there is the amongst all nature reserve management group, and they meet in the evenings. So if we go from a working group to a management group, it might be that, so we might have to do a special thing that we keep the group as an afternoon, as a morning group, even a management group. Because not only that, if we've got any problem, we can always wander around and have a look, can't we?
Site meeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my view is I'm relaxed in terms of the decision should be yours as chair. I think there are a number of complications around this particular councillor's attendance. So for example, that the councillor couldn't attend the Monk's Wall, which was an evening meeting earlier this week. So all that's been said, I think I'm supporting it because we are going to move to a different design very shortly. And there may be opportunities if it is on during the day that it does slot into a time that all can attend. Because I had to miss, I would have missed the previous meeting, but it wasn't quorate. Fortunately, it then dropped to the next week and I could attend. So we just have to accept at times we can't always be available.
I was going to say, it wasn't the Monk's Wall we missed, it was a disabled.
No, it was Monk's Wall as well.
Yeah, Monk's Wall. Oh, I think
yes, he was one of the members.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not one of the member on that. So I think the decision is that we stay with the morning meetings.
Well, I'm happy either way.
Okay, thank you. Item 6, draft report Bayhall. Members to receive and consider a draft report regarding survey results received in the future of Bayhall. The intention is to bring this report to a Sandwich Town Council extraordinary meeting in February. Attachment 3A, 3B and 3C. Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You've really seen this report before, and the only thing that is new to the report, if you remember from the last meeting, we said that we would include some comments from the working group, and we had various discussions. So you can hopefully see there the comments that I've put into this. So I've put the working group comments, and if I may, I'll just read through these 5 comments. The working group recommends that Bay Hall should not be rented out to all sorts of music. As this is a business, control of the building would be lost, and generally that's not in line with Georgina's wishes that it should be used as a community hub. The second point, the 16% overall demand for using the building is considered low. The preferred layout options for the organisations vary, and as such, the demand may reduce depending on a layout selected. So if we select one layout, it might not suit the chess club, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The third thing is the preferred layouts. The working group recognised that if the building was refurbished, local organisations may then step forward and the demand would increase. You know, so once it's done, people would say, oh, that's great, I'd like to rent it for my children's party or whatever it is, but at the moment they're not. And then picking up on the point by Leicester, the working group recognises that some of the local organisations may have had difficulty in completing the questionnaire, maybe felt it was not worthwhile or simply didn't have the time or resources to complete the questionnaire. So those are just comments from us. They're neutral comments. I think they're factual comments. They're not leading towards one thing or another. So if everybody's happy, and the other thing that I put into this report was that summary table so that you could see that, for instance, all sorts of music wanted it for 30 hours a week, and that then is equivalent to 36% of the working week, or 1,560 hours, based on the fact that the community hub would be available from, say, 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, 12 days, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and that's how we got to that 16% utilisation, which is down in the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
I haven't had a meeting because the town clerk was going to arrange a meeting with a planning officer or a person from the planning department. She hasn't done that yet, but
She has attempted to, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in touch with this person, and
still
Not
hasn't
reply.
got back. No, but so hopefully going to have. That's just a preliminary. If you just want to pass it, just what's it basically is diagram 3.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
That's the one you're going to seek.
that's what I was just going to
Yeah.
have a chat with the planning officer.
So this is a different layout that you've done, Jack?
Yeah, just what I've done to have a talk with the planning officer because of the toilet situation and things.
Okay, because for the extraordinary meeting, I'm suggesting that we include the other 2 layouts,
Yeah.
the existing layout, the 3 options, and so I'll scan this in and include it as a 4th layout.
Can I have that back and I'll give you a copy.
Yeah,
I've got so many copies.
Yeah.
But what, because what's it? That's what I want, because I hope to have a meeting with someone for before the extraordinary
I
meeting.
think
Yeah.
that would be really essential.
Yeah, we do need that. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we're asking a decision about
Yeah.
the viability,
From a
this
residential
is
to a
important,
community.
but also it's the
Yeah.
planning view as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, we do need a yay or a nay, don't we?
We do, yeah, we need to get that view
Yeah.
agreed.
Okay.
So what I was proposing is that this report now then is ready to go to the full council, this report up on the survey results. Yeah.
So I just say thank you, Peter. It's a good piece of work. I think it reads clearly. It sets out options. It doesn't try to skew in any direction, but it says what's positives and negatives are around where we are. So I think it's a really good piece of work, and I think it's for the council as a whole
Yeah.
to take that view.
And then the council can then decide whether they have an interest in it or, doing function for the council.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, any fundraising, charitable fundraising.
Yeah.
Okay, well done, Peter. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 7, electrical installation addition report and quote Bay Hall. Members to receive electrical installation and quote for remedial work suggested for 4A and 4B. I think we just have to get this because all the safety things, aren't they?
Could I just have some background to this? So, what prompted it? Why we've gone? It's just basically the story, so I understand.
Well, it's an empty property and no one's been there, and Karen's had electric because there is some wiring problems because the lights doesn't work. So this is what we come up with.
I'm assuming that when the wineries visited to do the basic safety check and the certificate, they then would, as they would anywhere, draw attention to works that might need doing,
Okay.
and that's what they've done. So,
Well, in fact, it just helps you on that. There's 4 items. They say a live cable is exposed in the boiler room, and it was disconnected at the time of the test, so they need to make that good. The main earth connection on sheath needs improving as it's currently loose. So, that again, it's a safety item, as the chair has said. No continuity on the live conductors circuit 1. Circuits require splitting and down rating to 20 amps each. Unfortunately, we are unable to obtain new MCBs to fit the customer's unit, so we recommend they need to install a replacement because the part's not available. And the PIR sensor at the front of the property is cracked and requires replacing. So these are just basic safety items that need.
Especially for the insurance, if anything was to happen, the insurance said we haven't done that work.
Well, that's right, and the cost is £554.88, so I would suggest,
We go
I
ahead.
propose that we accept the quote and get the work
Get the
done.
work done.
It's at a level that we don't need to get
That's
three
that was
quotes.
my next question.
No.
Yes,
Karen, isn't that correct?
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
And Wyman's do other work for the council as well,
Yeah.
so.
Yes, yeah.
And it's local business, which is also very good.
Comfortable with that?
Did you want to comment on the next part of that? The following two recommendations regarding LED.
Well, the LED, what about, well, I don't think they're net,
smoke alarms, etc.
LED, how much would they cost, is it? Did he go quote that?
Oh, no, they haven't quoted.
No,
No, perhaps we keep that separate, keep the quotes
Well,
down.
that's exactly right, they're
Yeah.
not saying it should be done.
We do know.
And the thing is that you could end up spending money replacing all that
Yeah.
lighting and then ripping it out
Yes, yes.
in a few weeks
Yeah.
if we were going refurbishing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll wait. Thank you for the,
Happy with that?
bringing that up to our attention. Item 8, draft report, charity strategy overall plan. Members to receive a draft report regarding the charity purposes and strategy which is to be discussed. The intention is to bring this report to a Sandwich Town Council extraordinary meeting in February, attachment 5.
Mhm.
So it's been going quite well where it is. Councillor Gray, you happy with?
I'm happy with that.
I hope so, because you did some
I know,
quite a lot of
yeah.
drafting.
Are you all happy with
That's why I threw it back on him. That's what you call delegating.
Are you all happy with it?
I think so.
Very happy, Nick.
Yeah. Just for, so that everybody is clear, this is the document that we reviewed in detail
Yeah.
at the last working group meeting,
Yeah.
and that we updated as we went through.
Yeah.
So again, I propose that this now is ready to go to kind of the full.
The extraordinary meeting, yeah.
I agree.
I think we're happy with that, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Good.
Item 9, draft report, headline progress report. Members to receive a draft headline progress report. The intention is to bring this report to a Sandwich Town Council extraordinary meeting in February, attachment 6. Yeah, so that's how we're up to date, isn't it?
Okay, if I may again just kind of talk through this. So the report is on the screen. So we set out what the purpose is to keep the council approved,
Yeah.
to introduce the council to the fact that we're going to look at the charity document, to give them an update on where we are with the executor, to give them the financial update, to give them the report that we've just discussed about the questionnaire, and to discuss other aspects, e.g. the planning permission. So that is the Maddox working group plan that was presented to council but has been updated towards the end of January there.
Yeah.
So you can see that the Sandwich Town Council is down at the end of January to make an initial practicality decision. And then we've got the various work streams, the charity, and that's covered by the document, the executor, the financial and the Bay Hall briefing. So then there is a little section for each of those, establishing the Maddox charity. Sandwich Town Council have agreed the appointment of Levics to help with the establishment of the charity, and then there's a reference to the attached document to be discussed by the council and a decision on that. Then there is an update on the executor. Now I don't know if anything has happened there, but we should
That's the key.
put the latest
key weakness
information
in our
there.
progress.
Can I speak about that?
Yes, please.
Because at our last meeting, we did say that we should write again to the executor. I don't know whether that's been done or not.
You would have to ask
Hmm?
the town
Yes,
clerk.
yes, I don't know whether the town clerk can. But more generally, I honestly think we're getting to the stage where we need to do something.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 years since Georgina Maddox died. It's 2 years since probate was granted, and really I'm astounded
Yes.
at the lack of progress and the lack of information
Yes.
we've been given.
Yeah.
In my time as a solicitor, I've wound up many estates, many bigger than this, many more complicated than this,
Yeah.
but I always felt it my duty to keep the beneficiaries informed of what is happening.
Yeah.
And I really think that we should begin to, if not threaten, Williamson and Barnes that we're going to take some
Decouple.
action.
Yeah.
And one suggestion I thought was that maybe there are other beneficiaries involved. There are the churches
There
who
are.
were.
Yeah.
I wonder whether we shouldn't actually call a meeting and ask representatives from those beneficiaries to come here, sit down with us and find out what they think about
Yes.
the progress of the estate,
Legal lacunae.
whether they know anything more than we know,
Yeah.
what's happened to them, have they had any money, how much, and ask them, or put to them, a proposal that maybe we should consider informing Williamson and Barnes that if we don't get some progress, we might make an application to the court for the court to appoint a substitute executor to complete the winding up of the
Yeah.
estate.
I think that's
Yeah.
a spot on suggestion, Nick. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. If the town clerk has contacted them,
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
good to
If
know.
she has contacted, could we know?
Yeah.
If not, could she
Yeah.
perhaps write to the, there are 11 churches, local churches?
10.
10.
Yeah, I'm meeting her after this meeting. I'm having a meeting with her after this meeting, so I can ask her.
Yeah, whether they would like to come
And I
through.
think if you look at the timeline that we agreed at the start of this, Jeff, actually everything is progressing as was estimated, except for that.
Except that bit.
But it's so critical to
Yeah.
all the others. You know, if you're doing a mapping across in terms of dependencies, every other activity would be dependent on that particular line of work stream activity.
Run out total amount.
So that's our critical path.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is critical. Now,
Yeah.
it may be there is a very good reason
Yes.
why there is this delay,
Yeah.
but I think Williamson and Barnes should tell us
Yeah.
if there is a reason.
I agree.
If not, to my mind, this has just been dragging on
Yeah.
too long. There are too many imponderables.
Yeah.
There have been too many rumours going around in the town about unpaid taxes.
Well, a definitive answer, don't we?
Inheritance tax was put forward as one argument. Oh, you won't get, the council won't get any money because it'll all go in inheritance.
Yeah, no money.
And then, as Margaret knows, there have been all these discussions about unpaid taxes.
Yes.
At one point we were told there were 20 years of unpaid taxes, and the unpaid tax was attracting interest of 6% per annum. Well, I don't know where that came from.
No, because
But
she
the
was
former
so.
councillor
yeah,
did tell us all that.
Yeah.
And so, we need to know.
It was the one thing that Georgina paid early in advance.
Yeah.
She always took advice from the tax office because she did it all manually.
Yeah.
She always contacted the tax office and went through everything. So I
It's
do
all up
know
to
that that as far as I'm concerned, that she was very hot on.
So on the basis that we
So that's what I would propose this meeting.
on the basis we flag this up as an issue before Christmas,
Yeah.
Jeff, and we're going to have an extraordinary meeting about the whole
I hope
package.
so, yeah.
I think we need to be able to come to that extraordinary meeting with an update from the executors,
Agreed.
and then we can end the meeting if the update is insufficient. Then the proposal at the extraordinary meeting should be to gather the other parties.
Organisation.
Yeah. Because then at least we're doing as much as we can from our perspective as a working group.
Yeah. Would it be appropriate to invite Williamson and Barnes to the extraordinary general meeting?
Why not?
To ask them to
Yeah, I think
actually
that's
attend.
sensible.
Can I just make that suggestion, and
That'd be
I'll take
Yeah.
whatever recommendation you decide once you've kind of explored
think-
this fully.
I agree, Peter. I think that would be a very sensible
Yes.
sensible way to deal with it.
They might come to a pre-meeting which is confidential, but I don't think they'd
Yes.
like to come to
I
a
think
full
we're
town council meeting.
camera, but
So you
pre-meeting
we
would be
can have a
really helpful,
pre-meeting.
Jeff.
We get a pre-meeting say at 6
Yeah.
o'clock,
Yeah.
confidential pre-meeting.
Because we can go into an extraordinary meeting, we can all think
They won't
we're
stop.
pushing on, but
Yeah.
ultimately, unless that critical path
Mm.
progresses, everything else
Yeah.
really is
Because when you go to full council, it'd be, you know, pretty publicised, won't it? So I don't think it's come to a, I think it's come to a pre-meeting.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. There's a little bit at the bottom there about the Babel Hub, about maintenance, isn't there? I think, because we did some quotes for doing some tree surgery, didn't we? Is there anything else about the?
Yeah, sorry, Mr Chair, can we come to that as we go through
Yes.
this
Before we
report?
go down through it.
Yeah, we're going down
I've got
the
it.
report because remember there's the 5 work streams establishing the charity we've talked
Yeah.
about. So this is the covering report that will go to Sandwich Town Council extraordinary meeting.
Yeah.
Then we're going to put the latest about the executor.
Yeah.
The next section is about the financial. So again, Karen, if we can kind of get an update, we've got EFG Harris all day, where we are with them setting up this discretionary managed account. And we've also appointed, or we've agreed to appoint the accountant to audit the accounts, the first full year accounts.
Yeah.
Then we can give an update on the expenditure this year and how much cash the council are holding ring fenced, and we should really get an update from Harris Allday to include how much they've got invested and maybe even, you know, what share portfolio that investment is in. Yeah? Are you happy with that, Karen?
Yes, are you proposing that you want an update now, or is this for me to write a report for this, to go with this report for the meeting?
Well, I'm proposing that this paper gets updated with that information.
And this expands to include my update?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you need to put an attachment to it, you could refer to the attachment, but this will be the covering report for the extraordinary general meeting.
Yeah.
And then the next section is the Bay Hall Hub, and that's the introductory to the questionnaire report that we've just discussed. And it's inviting the council to decide if the demand is sufficient for the council to invest time taking the scheme forward to the next stage, i.e. making an initial practicality decision as per the working group plan. Because if they're saying, yes, we want to go forward with it, then we as a working group will need to meet to decide who's going to manage it, who's going to design it, how are we going to engage with builders, what's the execution plan, how are we going to get quotations, you know, all of those types of things.
Some people are still asking me, you know, about the building, you know, informally, because of course it's not on this, but I have to find out, you know, whether they are generally interested in using the building as well. It's like the fishing area, you know, not quite sure what's happening there. So,
Peter, can you refresh my memory? So I thought the practicality decision includes or is supplemented by the planning officer initial advice. Am I?
Yes, it's
that's why
right.
that's critical.
Yeah.
That's one of the critical things,
Yeah.
and then we're going to come on to that in a second. Consultations and then other maintenance activities. Maybe I should move that consultation.
Yes, I'm
over
trying to make the link
planning.
between the two.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
And then maintenance activities, because I think there's been criticism that we've done nothing. But as we said, the central heating boiler has been serviced and the new thermostat fitted. Electrical safety testing has been undertaken, and we're now instructing some safety works. A broken double glazed unit has been repaired. Weeds to the front have been removed. The driveway grass has been cut. The gutters cleaned and the drains rodded. you know, an order has been placed for the tree pruning type of thing, and all of these maintenance activities are ongoing. So it's just to formally get that up in front of the council, and it's there. So if I move that consultation with Dover, the council is asked to note the contents of the report and provide decisions above and any direction for the working group or whatever as the next steps.
I think with the town clerk, where she's getting someone from the planning office informally, if they can't, we might probably have to do a formal request and then just have to pay the 100 and whatever it is to have the planning officer come.
Yeah,
It does need to be done, doesn't it?
it does need to be done,
Yeah.
but I think it ran onto rocky ground before because the planning, we're talking, the council did approve £200 for a pre-application consultation. And then when the town clerk spoke to somebody in the planning, they were treating it as a commercial building and wanted £1,500 or something for pre-application advice, which you know is totally out of hand. Okay, so that's the end of that report. So once we get more information about the executor, about the finance and about the planning, we can finalise this report and then it's good to go to the full council. Is everybody happy with that?
Yes.
I think so. Very done for you, Peter.
All hangs together very well, Peter.
Thank you.
Oh, isn't it? That's, so we're going to set a date for the next meeting. But more, we need something before the extraordinary, make sure it's all firmed up, don't we? But what do you reckon?
I'm not so sure that we do.
I think we should come back after that and then reflect on what the outcomes are and then make a decision about what happens next.
That's good.
Yeah, the key things are the external processing with the executor and with planning, because the only other update is the financial, and that's something that Karen's got to her fingertips.
Yeah.
Okay, unless we get any additional information from the executors, I can't see any purposely meeting till after
The extraordinary meeting. The next meeting will be in March. In March. I don't think then. This is so odd talking so far here, didn't it? That's all right.
I'm not sure when the extraordinary meeting is going to be
No,
planned for, because I know Jill's already doing an extraordinary meeting this week.
Yeah.
And then we've got the full meeting. I don't know whether it's going to move into early March.
That's what I was thinking. It might be
it's likely to be early March.
early March. So I was thinking, I think we just have to wait there, don't we?
Yes.
I think that's acceptable, Jeff, because you've got two pivotal activities that will feed into that. One is with the executors, the other is with planning. You won't get both delivered in within the next 1 to 2 weeks, I guarantee that now.
So next meeting to be discussed.
To be decided following the extraordinary period. Or next meeting, if any.
Yes.
Well, hopefully they have a management group or meeting closed at